Jolene, your beauty is unmatched, girl. Don't do it. Please don't take my man. And Beyonce's like, girl, you better go do something safe. As we all know, Beyonce just released her 9th studio album, Cowboy Carter. This is the second act of a 3-act series. Act 1 was, of course, the Renaissance album, a love letter to the ballroom community, followed by the Renaissance tour. Many people speculate that Act 3 will be a rock and roll album or possibly even a Destiny's Child reunion. Now, me personally, I think that Beyonce is clearly on a mission to reclaim and remind everybody that Black and brown creatives were always the blueprint. So a rock and roll album makes perfect sense to me. Now, we can't have a political conversation about this project without first discussing the event that led us here. Back in 2016, Beyonce performed at the Country Music Awards with the Dixie Chicks. It became very clear that she wasn't welcome. There are several reports of racial slurs from the audience, mistreatment backstage, and just an overall climate that she didn't belong. Beyonce states, and I quote, "This album has been over 5 years in the making. It was born out of an experience that I had years ago when I did not feel welcomed. Act 2 is a result of challenging myself and taking my time to bend and blend genres together to create this body of work." So in other words, Cowboy Carter was a clapback. And it is a clapback for the ages. Straight out the gate, track 1, American Requiem. She's basically saying, America, this ain't new. You've always treated my people like this. You've always treated Black women like this. First, I'm too country. Now I'm not country enough. Meanwhile, my people are responsible for all this shit. Then we go straight into track 2, Blackbird, which was originally recorded by the Beatles in 1968. It was co-written by Paul McCartney and John Lennon, mostly by McCartney, who from his own words wrote it as a commentary on injustice, the Black struggle, and Black womanhood in the South during the latter years of the Civil Rights Movement. So again, she's setting the stage for what this project is all about. Not only do I belong here, and I will show up as my full self, I'm also bringing others with me, and I'm going to show those who look like me that they deserve to be here just like everybody else. And this part is really important because the album goes on to reference more than once Linda Martell, who was the first commercially successful Black woman in country music. She was also the first Black woman to ever appear on the Grand Ole Opry in 1969, exactly 1 year after the Civil Rights Movement. So you can only imagine the level of racism and misogyny she faced. In addition to paying homage to her, which is obvious, I think Beyonce is also pointing out the close nexus between the climate of country music during Linda's time and how Beyonce is being treated right now. It's also very political and very strategic to me how she chose to handle some of the features on the album. Dolly Parton, Willie Nelson, who I've always adored, are actually only featured in the interludes between the songs. I think this was a great way of honoring them as legends and drawing some legitimacy to the album without allowing them to take up too much space. And in fact, repurposing that space for other artists who have previously gone unrecognized by the industry. Since this album dropped, all of these artists have seen a massive increase in their streaming. And the beauty is, this is all by design. We know that. This isn't the first time that Beyonce has gone out of her way to highlight Black artists from different genres. We saw it in Homecoming, Black is King, Renaissance, and now Cowboy Carter. My favorite on this list so far is Tanner Adele. I hadn't heard of her before this album. She's featured on Blackbird. Found her on Instagram, started listening to her music, and she is a vibe. Final thoughts. I love that the internet is going crazy over Beyonce's version of Jolene. The memes are hilarious. Oh my God. Jolene, your beauty is unmatched, girl. Don't do it. Please don't take my man. And Beyonce's like, girl, you better go do something safe. It's a Black woman. Like, Jolene is just going to be a different song when a Black woman writes it. Period. End of discussion. I was a little worried because it is such an iconic song, but The lyrics gave it a whole new meaning, and I just thought it was fun. You know, there's so many good songs on this album. People are loving Yaya. She's definitely in her Tina Turner bag with that one. Of course, 16 Carriages, Texas Hold'em, Spaghetti, Levi Jeans. But for me, it's gonna be Two Most Wanted every single time. That is by far my favorite song on this album. Last thing I need everyone to understand. This is not a country album. This is a Beyonce album. The very point of the whole thing, and she really brings this home with the Linda Martell samples. Genre is made up. And with that, she is making a political statement that you will not exclude me. You will not exclude us. There are not spaces that I don't belong in. And in fact, me and my people, our blood, sweat, and tears is in the fabric of everything. We cannot be removed. You cannot escape our influence. We are the prototype. That's the point. Post-pop era Beyonce is sick of it. If you've been paying attention, every album starting with Lemonade and beyond has been a political movement. This is who she is as an artist now, and I'm here for it. All right, you guys, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for tuning in to Isaiah TV and watching this video. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe. And if there's nothing else, I will see you next time. Be blessed.